Hello and welcome to Algebra 2. Today is Friday, September the 11th. We're going to put the date at the top of our page. Our topic for today is factor by grouping. Great. We are going to dive into our first example. So you should always pause and write out the original problem. It is much more helpful to see your work from the original problem than from the first couple of steps. Okay, we're going to call this example 1. Pause whenever you need. Great. Our instructions say to factor each completely. So we're not solving here. We're just factoring. Well, actually, and then it says then solve. So our instructions are to factor and then solve. It's important to thoroughly read through our instructions. They're really easy just to pass by, and you might miss easy points because maybe you didn't solve or something like that. Okay. We know we're factored by grouping because there are 4 terms. When we have 4 terms, our strategy is always factor by grouping. First thing we're going to do is break the problem up into 2 groups. Well, actually, the first thing we need to do is organize our exponents in descending order, so highest to lowest. So I've got 12x cubed first, x squared should come next, plus 2x squared minus 30x minus 5. Great, we're all in order now. Our exponents go 3, 2, 1. Great. Now I'm going to break these into 2 groups. I'm going to put parentheses around the existing piece. So I can put plus negative 30x minus 5, 0. Okay. Now we want to take out common factors from each group. In the first group, 2 and 12 share a 2. X squared and x cubed share an x squared. So left over, I've got 6x plus 1. Over here, I can take out a negative 5. Be careful when we're taking out negatives. This first term is now positive, and so is our second term. So if I go back and I multiply negative 5 times 1, I get my negative 5. So just be really careful about negatives when you're moving those around. Great. Now I'm going to take these 2 guys on the outside. They're going to get their own group. Color code that. And then we're going to take these guys and they form a single group. Great. That's fully factored. Now we just need to solve. Okay, when we solve, we're setting factors equal to 0. So I've got 2x squared minus 5 equals 0. Add over the 5. Divide the 2. We're going to square root both sides. And when we do that, we get a plus or minus root 5 over 2. Over here, I'm going to set it equal to 0. Move over the 1. Divide the 6. And these are our final answers here. Okay, let's look at another example. Okay, we're going to call this guy example 2. Make sure you write the original problem. First thing I'm doing, I look at the exponents. They go 3, 2, 1, 0. Perfect. It's already in order, so I can start grouping. So I've got 8r cubed minus 64r squared is my first group, plus r minus 8 equals 0. In that first group, 8 and 64 share an 8. R cubed and r squared share an r squared. What's left is r minus 8 plus r and negative 8 have nothing in common. I can always take out a 1. So if they have nothing in common, I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 there. Okay, so I've got the outside guys come together to form a group. That's that's 8r squared plus 1. Color code that. And then my r minus 8s also come together in a single group. And then I've got r minus 8 equals 0. This one in blue will give us an imaginary answer. We are not going to cross that bridge right now. We'll go ahead and solve this guy, though. I add over the 8. Perfect. Okay, we got one last example here. All right. We're going to call this guy example 3. Take a second to pause, rewrite the original problem. Okay, I know that to factor, everything must equal 0 first. We're going to go ahead and write that. And that's true for any factoring problem ever. Think back to our table question. Where do we look for factors? Where y equals 0. So everything must be equal to 0 first. Everything must equal 0 before factoring. And that's true for any factoring problem. That's always your first move if it doesn't already equal 0. Okay, I'm going to add over this 4x squared, 4x cubed. I'm going to put 4x squared next so that our exponents are in order. Minus 9x equals 9. We're going to take away this 9. It has no variable, so we're going to put it at the very end. So I've got 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 9x minus 9 equals 0. Great, it all equals 0. Now I'm ready to factor. So my first group is my first two guys always, and my second group is my second two guys always. I'm going to put a plus here and let them hold on to the negatives for now. Okay, 4 and 4 share a 4. X cubed and x squared share an x squared. What's left in the first term? Just x. We took everything out of the second term, so it's just x plus 1. Negative 9 and negative 9 share negative 9. So what's left? Positive x plus 1. Because if I go back and multiply this negative 9, I'm going to end up back at the step above, which is a good thing, which tells me I did it right. Okie dokie. We're going to take these guys here. They're going to form a group. And then our guys in green are also going to form their own group. Okay, let's look at this. So here's my green, here's my blue. My blue looks kind of like a familiar problem. This looks a heck of a lot like difference of squares. I got two terms, I have the difference, the subtraction, and 4 and 9 are perfect squares. So we can go ahead and factor that further. Square root of 4x squared is 2x, square root of 9 is 3. So I can rewrite this guy as 2x minus 3, 2x plus 3. And then my x plus 1 is still, he didn't go anywhere. All right, and our instructions were to solve. So let's go ahead and solve these guys. I've got 2x minus 3 equals 0, add the 3, divide the 2. My first answer is 3 halves. Now I've got 2x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract the 3, it's negative, divide the 2, negative 3 halves. My last one here, I've got x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract the 1, and I've got negative 1. So always look for those opportunities to further factor by difference of squares in this kind of problem. That's all for today, guys. Thanks.